Greetings, friends. It's Dr. Jonathan Ellerby with another live 12 at 12. And today's message is simple, but another critical piece of wisdom for a good life, a whole life, and for a little bit of the healing that I think we all absolutely need. Before we get into this, we're going to take a moment to catch our breath, have a little reading, and then we will dive in. So, sitting comfortably but alert, I'm going to invite you to close your eyes, and then we're going to take, let's say, about 10 vigorous breaths in and out through your mouth only. Then we're going to hold the breath, and then we're going to focus on the exhale. So here we go. Big breath in and hold it. Hold it till it's uncomfortable, and then really concentrate on the exhale, keeping your eyes closed, breathing out through your mouth as if it were through a straw. In through the nose, softly and gently. Out through the mouth as if through a straw. Feel yourself calming down, slowing down, settling down in the middle of your day or whenever you watch this. And as we connect with this stillness and this breath, we read this beautiful poem by Mark Nepo called Freefall. If you have 1 hour of air and many hours to go, breathe slowly. If you have 1 arm's length and many things to care for, you must give away freely. If you have 1 chance to know God and many doubts, you must set your heart on fire. We are blessed. Each day is a chance. We have 2 arms. Fear wastes air. So, the heart of the poem and why I chose it today is because it really speaks to the preciousness of making the most out of every moment in life, and not just in the sense of appreciation and embrace, but more so in the sense that we must recognize the desperation that we live with at times. And in light of that desperation, like the image of not having enough air, we must give ourselves fully to whatever brings us through. Brings us through with resilience, brings us through sustainably, brings us through and opens the heart. You know, if you look at my library of videos, whether it's on Facebook or YouTube, you'll see a lot. Probably about 100 videos now, I would guess. And they're all about things we can do for ourselves or for others, different ways we can find peace and hope and healing. But the reality is that most of the time, when we are struggling with emotional trigger and reaction, most of the time, when emotions are at the heart of what gets in the way of what we need to do most, we need outside help. You know, it's strange, but I'm reminded of that old story of the mouse and the lion. There's a big lion, a mighty male lion, laying asleep in the afternoon sun, and a mouse nearby sniffing around for food, seeds, whatever it can get, comes upon the lion, and in the mouse's own preoccupation with food and looking after herself, unconsciously climbs upon the lion and is running all over the lion as if it were just a big pile of dirt or grass. when suddenly the lion is awoken by the mouse's activity and disturbance. The lion slams his paw down on the mouse. You can imagine catching the tail or flicking the body off, and holds it down. And the mouse begs for mercy. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to disturb you. I didn't even realize that you were there. Please let me go. I'm sure I can return the favor to you sometime. Spare my life. And maybe one day I'll spare yours. And of course, the lion thinks this is just sort of absurd and laughs at the boldness and the audacity of this little mouse to think that she could help the lion one day. And so he lets her go. And as the story goes, and you probably know it, it's not long later where the lion is caught in a net. Poachers or trappers have dropped or set a trap that has dropped a net around the lion. The lion is tangled and caught and now waits for impending doom when the hunters finally find the lion in the net. And of course the mouse happens to hear the lion roaring, happens to hear the trouble and comes by, and the lion, the king of the beasts, right? Who should never have a care in the world, begs the mouse, please, won't you chew through these ropes and set me free? I'm sorry I laughed, but I need you now. And of course, the reality is we all need help from time to time or all the time, right? So what I'm talking about is if you're looking at changes in your life, whether it's facing economic crisis, whether it's facing health challenges, whether it's facing how you, your family, your business are going to respond to the crisis and change in this country, in the United States today, don't be afraid to ask for help. If it feels like you're humbling yourself, humble yourself. If it feels like shameful, be brave and ask for help. A coach, a counselor, a therapist, even to reach out to the ones you struggle with the language of asking for help. Put someone else in the place of giving. It's something we rarely think about, but when you are struggling with someone, the typical place we go to is contraction, constriction, and something like defense, right? We go into denial or we overreact. It tends to be one of the two extremes. But we rarely say, whoa, 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 slow down. I'm having a hard time with what's going on between us. I need help. To ask for help is a way of showing vulnerability that more often than not calls forth the same vulnerability, surrender, love, and gentleness in the very person that you might be struggling with. Now, they may not respond to it in that way, and that's not uncommon either, but then you know that if you can't handle it between you, it's okay to ask someone else. And not just a friend or a family member who knows you better, although that can be helpful, excuse me, but a professional. And right now, there are more ways to get help online, by phone, by video, in person than ever before. Don't be ashamed of the need to ask for help. And in fact, you should take pride in recognizing that you can find and feel your own limits and then go beyond them to ask for energy from the outside to help you address what's inside. One of the most important things you can remember about why we all need help is specifically because whatever is keeping us stuck is by definition robbing us of energy and perspective, overwhelming us with emotion. If we are robbed of energy and perspective, overwhelmed by emotion, then how on earth would we expect ourselves to make a good decision or do something better or differently? This is the time where we need a brief injection of energy from the outside so that we can find our clarity, our peace, and if nothing else, be supported step by step by step as we make tiny changes towards something that is good and healing for everyone involved. The last thing that I want to mention before we close is that very often, not only do we feel shame about going for help, or that we should, be able to look after things by ourselves, we also often have unspoken feelings and stories about how asking for help might make other people feel, right? We don't mind spending $100 on a dinner and a movie with a friend or a spouse or a partner, but $100 on therapy, oh, this would be robbing us of something, right? Or letting someone know that you just can't manage the relationship the way it is anymore, and you need a break, you need a change, you need help. Maybe you're afraid they're going to feel bad. Maybe they're going to feel it's their fault. But see, none of that allows people to be accountable. None of that allows you to be accountable. In the end, getting help and healing relationships and our lives is far less emotional than it seems. Emotions are just a part of the landscape we have to navigate, but the decisions have to come from somewhere deeper. Not the thin quickness of the mind, but the deep, longing soulfulness that knows that we can be at peace, we can restore balance, and in the end, if that's what we introduce to a system, a family, a friendship, a society, then it's good for everyone. And if someone in your life doesn't like you getting help, then you know that that person has something to change, not you. Well, I hope this was helpful, and I hope if there's something that you are facing, that you will find the courage, the wisdom, the resources to reach out and ask for help when you need it. Lots of love to you, to whoever's watching. Take care, and I'll see you soon.